So you have set a goal or goals for 2026, and you are trying to figure out, how can I make sure they don't fall off? How can I make sure I accomplish these goals this year? Because I don't want it to be like last year. I don't want to go to the gym just 2 or 3 times and then that's the last I see of it. And then I'm right back to being the same person all over again, and I still can't get this weight off. Or, I want to become a person that's going to start reading more, and, I want to become more educated, or I want to start this business. But how can I make sure that this goal this year is the one that I actually achieve? Because let's face it, a lot of times when you set goals or you set intentions at the beginning of the year, you might start out trying to get toward it, trying to accomplish it, but at some point it falls off. Why does that happen? Well, it's no different from, let's say, someone who wins the lottery, and they get millions and millions and millions of dollars. But statistics tell us that 70% of people that win the lottery actually become bankrupt after a few years. 30 to 33% actually file for bankruptcy after a couple years. Why is that? Well, it's because you never changed the identity of the original person, and all you did was start, these people got money, but they were still the same people that didn't do well with money before they got a lot of money. So what did they do? They tended to waste it. They didn't know how to invest it. They didn't know how to manage it. And that's a lot of money for somebody to get at one time. So if you're not prepared for it, if you're not in the form of an identity that can handle, of a person who can handle a lot of money, it's going to start going away because you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to manage it or invest it. Same thing when it comes to a goal. Same thing when it comes to a New Year's resolution that you have set for yourself. It's great to have that goal, and it's good that you're going to start moving toward it, because that plays with the neuroplasticity or the rewiring toward creating new and better habits. But how do you make sustainable habits? You have to change the identity. You have to become the person that matches that goal. So if you are trying to lose weight, if you are trying to go to the gym this year, and you want to make it something that doesn't just fall off, you have to start telling yourself that this is who you are. You still can't be in the back of your mind not an active person. You still can't be in the back of your mind someone who's going to be sedentary and still just watch television, but I'm going to go to the gym and just come home and be the same exact person and not change your eating habits, not change the routines that you have in order to live a more healthier lifestyle that's sustainable to lose weight or get into the shape of the person you want to be. You have to become the identity. You have to start telling yourself that you are an active person. You have to start making decisions that are going to move toward the intuitive actions, like eating a little bit healthier, making better decisions. You have to become the person who is in the identity of the goal that you are trying to achieve. If you're trying to start a new business this year, you have to start moving toward that goal. You have to start making intuitive decisions that are going to help you get toward starting a new business. Start learning about what it is that you need to know as far as, getting a business loan. Start looking at different properties of places that you would love to have your business at. Start in that mindset. Start becoming that person. Start telling yourself you're already a business owner. Start living in the identity of the person that has already achieved the goal for this year. So if you're also maybe trying to wake up a little bit earlier, start chipping away at it. Use the James Clear 1% rule, Atomic Habits. Every single day, just start going to bed a little bit earlier. You don't have to do a cold turkey. You don't have to go crazy, because a lot of times that's not sustainable either. You have to start wiring yourself for that goal. So for me right now, I am going to start, reading a little bit more, and I want to, really become more of an early person. I want to start my day off the right way. I want to start doing more meditations, getting into the Word of God a little bit more, maybe becoming a little bit more active in the morning. So my day is started the right way. In order to do that, I have to change my habits. So in order to do that, I have to go to bed just a little bit earlier. And I've already started doing that. I think when you try to go cold turkey on something, it's such a shock to the system that you start falling back into the same habits, because your brain and the way you're wired are always going to try to pull you back to what's comfortable, what it already knows. And that comfortability is being the late night person. And next thing you know, you do it one night and you're like, oh, this feels familiar, this feels safe, this feels comfortable again. And next thing you know, you're back in the habit. Same thing with going to the gym. You skip that one day and that's comfortable. It's like, oh, okay, this feels normal. This is nice, and next thing you know, you're right back to the old identity again. You have to see what is going to be normal for you is when you start chipping away at that old identity and forming the new identity, forming these new habits to the point where that new habit, because you've been in it for enough period of time, which is typically between 30 and 60 days, once you do it, that is the one that becomes normal. When you don't go to the gym and you sit at home, that is now uncomfortable. That doesn't feel good. But going to the gym and working out and eating healthy, because you'll notice that when you start eating healthy and you start eating bad again, after that period of time has gone by and you've already started the new habits, eating bad doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel comfortable. But eating good, eating healthy foods that are good for you, that starts feeling more comfortable. And that's the point at which you want that switch. But in order to make it sustainable, you have to form the identity. And in order to make it sustainable also, you have to tell yourself that you are this person. I am this person that wants to eat healthy. I am this person who is active. I am this person who chooses to actually achieve my goal and not conform back to the laziness that I was before. Like, you have to start reiterating and telling yourself this because it's important. Being in the identity is what is going to help you make this a long, sustainable goal that you will finally achieve. You can't be in the old identity and achieve this goal that is not who you are. Another example is when I went to go buy a vehicle. See, I always thought to myself, I was in a money mindset where I didn't really see myself owning a nice vehicle. I didn't think that was part of something that was ever possible for me, so I never thought about it. But when I started changing my thought process and I started telling myself, I do deserve to have a nice vehicle. I do deserve to have something that I truly want. I shouldn't have to, conform and get a vehicle that I just feel like is in the social status of something I don't even want to be in anymore. Like, I want to take that next step, and I've worked really hard. I've gotten to this point. I deserve it. And so if I stayed in the old mindset of somebody that was in lack and limitation and also stayed in the mindset of fear and comfortability, I never would have taken the step to get a vehicle like the one I have now. And, I never thought I would have, a really nice Lincoln. That would never have happened because I couldn't have been in the old identity where I'm just comfortable staying in a fear state and not wanting to, spend money on something that is nice and something I deserve to have if I didn't change my identity. And because I did that, I started noticing that everything else, when I finally made that decision, everything else in my life, the decisions became easier. I had less fear of taking chances and being bold and taking risks, not being irresponsible with money, but actually taking bolder risks that were actually going to help me make more money, because I found myself becoming an identity of a person that doesn't have to stay in the same social status I grew up in. I can now build on the identity of a person that I truly want to be. And it's because it wasn't a goal I set to get a new vehicle, because I could have set that goal, but by the time it came down to asking me if I was ready to pay for it, the old identity would have said no. The old identity would have been scared. That's too much of a risk. This is uncomfortable. You can't do that. This is not who you are. When you change the identity, that's when the goals are actually going to appear. That's when the goals are going to be sustainable and they're actually going to, manifest in your life because you are prepared for them. You have the mental state to actually achieve them. If you don't have the mental state to achieve something that is outside your comfort zone or outside the realm of possibilities of something you ever thought you could have, you're never going to have it. You have to start wiring yourself to bring in the goal, to bring in the things that you want into your life. Proverbs 23:7 says that, so a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So, God wants us to have an abundant life. He wants us to have the things that we desire. It's important the fact that the things that we desire aren't for our own greed. A lot of things that we do in this life are to better serve others. But being in a mental state where you can now feel like you can achieve the goals, that you are in the identity of the person that is ready to receive, is big. Because if you don't think in your heart that you deserve something, you're never going to get it. If you don't think in your heart that you are capable of achieving or accomplishing something, it's never going to happen. So in order to do that, you have to think in your heart. You have to believe that you are this person who can accomplish this. And then the next thing you know, the actions move toward actually accomplishing that goal. So guys, I thought this was really important because this is something that's always held me back. Yet when I realized the truth of this, when I became the identity of a person who wanted to be healthier and wanted to, have more of a better physique a long time ago, I lived in that identity, and now that is my identity. When I decided that I didn't want to live a lifestyle where I had to worry about certain things and worry about fear and have anxiety, and I told myself, this is not who you are. Those negative thoughts don't belong in your current reality. Those old beliefs that would suck you back into negativity, they have no place in your current reality. That is not who you are, and I removed them. Things got a lot easier. Life got a lot more fun. I didn't have to worry about a bunch of things. I just gave it up to God, and now the next thing I know, I don't have stress and anxiety anymore, because every time a negative thought comes in, I say, you don't belong here. God, you take it over. I don't want it. It's not a part of this reality. It's not a part of who I am. It does not belong here. Next thing I know, seconds later, I'm fine. Same thing with your goals, guys. Give it to God. Become the identity of the person that you want to be. Take intuitive action. Take those steps toward achieving that goal, and I promise you it'll happen. I'm excited for you. If any of you need help and you want a little bit of guidance, and you want to make sure that you will set yourself on the right track to align your life that you want with the person that you need to be, and you're trying to figure out, how do I do that? I know what steps I need to take, but I could really use some mentorship. I could really use some guidance. That's what I'm here for. As a life alignment coach, this is my passion. I love helping others. I love helping others based on what I have learned and I know to be true within myself and the things that I have been able to accomplish, and all I want to do is share it. So if you guys want, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you out. I hope this video helps you. Happy New Year, and you are going to accomplish everything you set out for this year.